Addiction Solutions Victoria offer personalised and affordable addiction treatments and family support packages delivered in the privacy and safety of people's own homes. The ASV Online Family Support Program is based on researched strategies to help reduce the length and severity of harmful addictive behaviours.
Step 3. Communicating adult to adult in order to diminish dependent tendencies.
Step 3. How to communicate and get the best outcome for our dependent family member. We've already looked at how to exit the drama triangle and into the empowerment triangle. Now this session today is going to be looking at how we communicate. Dr. Eric Byrne talks about communicating as a transaction. And if you consider it, you might remember one or two transactions with your family member that might not have been successful. So what we're going to look at today, how to get more successful transactions. And what we do is look at the 3 states, they're called ego states, that people communicate in. It's really very interesting. There's the parent state, the child state, and the adult state. And you might well be saying, oh, well, I'm a parent, so I would be speaking in the parent state. But actually, it's a bit more to it than that. Say, for example, you've got an independent person living at home who's doing their own thing and living their own life. Then you don't need to be parenting them, telling them what to do and how to do it, and looking after them and fixing up the mess after them. If you would be so lucky to have that person, then you're very fortunate. If, however, you have a dependent person living at home who you have to keep telling what to do, you feel compelled to tell them what to do it for them or to fix up the mess, then this session here is how to communicate in a way that will get a more successful outcome. And most importantly, to understand what you're actually doing yourself. If you're talking in the parent state, you're talking in a sort of judgmental, critical or patronising way. Finger pointing, telling them what to do. You should have done this and why don't you do that and you have to do this. Using body language that's strong and aggressive. And always, being critical of everything. Judgmental. That's what they call the parent state. So think of the last time you talked to your family member who you're concerned about. Then there's the other way of talking in the child state, which is, I don't know, I don't care, whatever, or I want, give me. It's all about, I'm not taking any responsibility, I don't care about anything, and letting everything go. The adult conversation, ego state, and communication is all about asking questions, raising how, why, where, what, and who. Inquiring. It's about inquiring, not telling. Inquiring, alerting. Oh, that's interesting. How do you think you might be able to do that? What do you think you might need to do? Where do you think you might need to go? Not, this is what you've got to do. Why haven't you done it already? You should have been there. You should have, could have. That is being the parent. Being the adult, you might say, but I am the parent. But if your child is over 18, or you're with a partner, or you're talking to your mother or father who has the addiction, whatever it is or whatever level in the family, it's very important, if you talk to them as an adult to adult, you're helping them feel empowered. The same as we were talking about in the empowerment triangle in the last session. You're empowering them to look to what they need to do for themselves by asking them inquiring questions like who, what, where and why, so that they have to have a light globe moment themselves and think, where? Oh, I don't know. Where would I have to go? What would I have to do? And then they have ownership of it. That helps them become more empowered and take control. By telling someone what to do, If I say to you, you have to go, you're not allowed to go to that and you have to go to this, and you do, and there's an unfortunate outcome as a result, then I own the outcome. But instead I ask you, what do you think you need to do? And where do you need to go? That raises your interest. You make the decision and you own the outcome. And that empowers you to be in control. And that's what we want our family members to be, in control, empowered. Because if they're not feeling in control, they're not feeling like they can stop their addictive behaviour. They're not feeling like they can do anything. So the very important issue is our communication skills. And where do you think this will take us if we keep on talking them like a parent to a child, whether they're our partner, mother, whatever, or son or adult daughter? Many times we've come across people, the mother or the father, are following them, texting them where they are, saying they're outside, doing a whole range of activities, which is only saying to the person that you are a child and you need looking after. Like, hold my hand while I cross the road when you're 3. And suddenly you're still talking like that to a 28-year-old. What message does that give to the person? I am useless. I am not adult. I am not me. So using the language, our transactions, the language of adult to adult, is very empowering and also helps us exit those drama relationships that we can have. So think about the last time you spoke to your family member. And how did that go? Was that a successful transaction? And what might you do differently in the future? How would you converse with them as an adult? There's another side effect to talking to your family member as an adult to child, and it's called failure to launch. Sadly, this is becoming increasingly a popular thing amongst young people and older adults today, living at home with their parents. So many people who rely on others, as we spoke about getting that definition of dependent, rely on people to do everything for them. And when we have an adult speaking to us as a parent to a child, we tend to treat ourselves like child and respond in that same way as a child, emotional. People who are in the child state or stay in the child state in their adulthood are emotional, can get depressed, can suffer from depression and a range of issues, all to do with emotions, because they're not empowered to stand on their own, think for themselves and provide everything they need for themselves. So by doing everything that someone tells them or being provided for, they no longer have that ability to stand on their own. And that just helps create a very dependent person who relies on an addiction to make themselves feel good. So when you think you're telling someone what to do for their own good, try and remember the adult to adult rather than the parent to the child. Because what we want is for that adult to emerge out of that child. It's the most important thing that families can do, is raise independent adults. And today, so many people living at home, a 38-year-old alcoholic young woman living at home like a child with her parents. Her mother totally absorbed in the life of preserving her health and well-being. However, her alcoholism now has gone to such lengths because she doesn't have to do anything for herself. She's totally reliant on everyone around her, and so all she needs to do is drink, and she'll work out ways to do it no matter what, because she can in that situation. So it's very important to realise that talking adult to your family member can actually increase their sense of self and well-being and reduce their sense of dependency. So from now on, let's look at our next communication, and before we do it, we want to think, how can I do this as an adult to adult? And if you slip up, don't worry, try again. That's it, we're only human and we're on a new journey. And what you were doing, you weren't doing because you didn't want to help them. We're not questioning that at the slightest. What you were doing out of care. But what we're looking at now are strategies and ways forward to help diminish dependent tendencies. So from this moment on, remember the empowerment triangle and also speaking as an adult to adult. And I know that you will be able to do it. Good luck.
You have now completed Step 3 of the ASV Family Solutions program. Before viewing Step 4, please refer to and complete the Step 3 section of the ASV Family Solutions booklet.